Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Global Leadership Perspective. And today I would like to interact with something that has been lately happening from the international stage, especially in the context of Africa. The president of Kenya, Mr. Ruto, has been on the limelight and lately has been vehemently talking a lot concerning some of the issues that the people, in this case, the head of states of African nations are concerned in relation to especially the West and probably the European nations. And the other day, we saw him in an event in Kenya where he vehemently and loudly so spoke about the issue of Africa being respected and the heads of states being respected so that they are not just being invited in some of these nations abroad and accorded a treatment that he referred to himself as disrespectful for the heads of state. And this, by so doing this, he highlighted an instance where they put all of them together in a van or in a bus, and they're driven in one region. And the other thing that he has also talked about is the issue of mutual respect and benefit, and where the African nations are concerned, and also the West and also the European nations are concerned. And so some among these, among others, some of the issues that he is talking about. And lately in South Africa, he spoke about some of these issues, and the heads of state seemed to have been in agreement, and they really gave him serious accolades. And personally, I also think that the issues he raised were quite poignant issues, very important, and they need to be looked into by both parties, that is the African nations and also the people in question, according to his statement, the West and the European. And so for this reason, would like to probably make loud some of the things that are going in my head out of this kind of statements that are coming from him. One, I want to appreciate and acknowledge such kind of statement. Not all of them entirely, but some of them are significantly important, and I feel they need to be taken more serious and given more consideration, especially on the aspect of mutual respect and on the aspect of really getting into business negotiations where both parties are there to benefit and not necessarily one party. However, on the same, I would also be quick to acknowledge, every country represents her own interest, and that's why we have high commissions and embassies representing various countries in different countries. And so their best or their interest or what they are there to achieve, to ensure that the interest of the country they are representing, they are indeed being achieved and met. So in this case, is Africa is lazy, if I may use such a term, or is not aggressive and not being keen to ensure that the interest of their nations in Africa are being taken care of, then this can only be blamed. The heads of state and the representatives, the people given the prerogative to conduct such kind of activities and mandates can only be blamed, and not necessarily the people from outside Africa. Then the other thing that I also would like to bring to our attention, I'm sure probably most of you may see it, and most of us probably may be coming to its realization for the first time. One of the things that people should know about Mr. Ruto, he's very calculative. He can really choreograph things to ensure that he's indeed taking the limelight. And so he did this successfully in Kenya, and where he was able to have that perception that indeed what he's saying is okay and is right, and a lot of PR. And I feel what he has been doing in Kenya is transferring it now to the international scene in a way of trying to really want to be in charge and to look like he is speaking for the people of Africa and looking for the issues that the Africa are indeed need to talk about them, but they're not talking about them, but he can talk about them vehemently. And I feel this is for self-interest reasons as much as the issues are valid and they need to be brought out. I don't think there is goodwill out of him. And the other thing we could probably ask ourselves, are there some people using him, and especially that he's there and given his personality and temperament, are there people that are using him and at the end of the day they're going to leave him in trouble? These are some of the things that we need to think about and probably figure out how things are going to unravel. And the other thing also out of such kind of statements, that kind of consistency in him also could be contradicted, especially in terms of the policy that his government is offering, and where they are headed. So some of these things may put him in trouble, may please others and put him in trouble with others. For example, the US and the UK have been seriously wanting to ensure that they are in it and they are carrying the shots, and they have big stakes where this government is concerned. And so if it appears that the president is thinking otherwise in his statements and action, then this may not really rub well with the two nations have just mentioned. And so I feel indeed is also a way of just taking an advantage to ensure that you are indeed there to look like you are speaking for the voiceless, in this case the other heads of state who may feel they are scared or they are not willing to talk the truth. But at the end of the day, I don't feel this will end so well with him, because it may really work against him at the end of the day. Though some of the things, as I've mentioned, they're very good and they need to be talked about seriously, whether by him or others. These are things that we need to think about them as a continent of Africa, so that we could see what we can achieve as collectively as a people of Africa. Because one of the things that has always been fought is that kind of unity that can come out of Africa. And so people, other nations know probably very well that if that can be achieved, then it will work against their interests. And that's why indeed some of these things are serious and they need to be interacted with. So this kind of emerging leadership is trying to offer